What's up guys, it's Heria. Welcome to another vlog. Today I'm gonna be showing you the best pushing exercise and how to train for it. That's gonna be the 90-degree push-up. Now, one of the reasons why I think this is the best pushing exercise is because you can train it anytime, anywhere. Technically, you don't need any equipment at all to train this exercise, but it would be helpful to pick up some parallels, which you can get at thenx.com/shop. And unlike most pushing exercises, the 90-degree push-up also has far more of a range of motion when it comes to pushing compared to other pushing exercises, as it engages your chest from bottom to top all the way up to your shoulders, increasing your stability, balance, and coordination, making other compound movements a whole lot easier, strengthening your core and training your full body muscle connection. And because you're using your entire body weight, this is considered a heavy lift, which will fatigue you way faster. Just like an Olympic lift, helping you reach hypertrophy and tear more muscle fibers, building way more muscle and strength with less reps. And by the time you have this exercise down, you would have greatly developed your upper body, and you would have increased your ability to perform more reps of harder exercises like handstand push-ups and unlock more advanced skills like the full planche push-ups. And these are some of the reasons why I think the 90-degree push-up is the best pushing exercise. If you guys think there's a better one, leave it down in the comment section and let me know. So now I'll be taking you through one of my training sessions. I'm gonna show you how I train for my 90-degree push-up and the progressions that you need to get started. Now, when I'm training technique for an exercise I'm still trying to master, I'll start off with the hardest progression, try to max that out for a couple sets. So that's gonna be the 90-degree push-up. I'm gonna go ahead and max those out for 4 sets. All right, so there we have 90-degree push-ups. I was gassing out on that last one, but once you've maxed out this exercise for 4 rounds, you would go into the next progression. So after I've done 4 rounds of the 90-degree push-ups, I would then move into the next easier progression, and that's gonna be the 90-degree press. So as you can see, I'm starting off with the hardest movement I'm able to achieve, and then I'll work down to the last and first progression, and then finally max that one out. By the time you reach the last progression, you would have maxed out your pushing strength, as well as all the techniques for your 90-degree. And if you train this way, the next time you try 90-degree push-ups, you're gonna feel a whole lot stronger, and you're gonna be able to do a lot more reps. All right, so the next progression, we're gonna start off at the bottom. Now we're gonna go down into a push-up. Lean forward, hard enough, your feet come off the ground. Press into a handstand, come right back down. Hold. Now you really want to get used to, for this exercise, holding in that position. So we're gonna do this exercise 1 rep every 30 to 60 seconds. Now for this progression, it alleviates some of the strength that you're gonna need for the beginning of this exercise, because you're just starting off from the floor. You don't have to waste so much energy lowering down into the 90-degree position. And some might say lowering down into that 90-degree and being able to catch and hold yourself into a 90-degree position is actually one of the hardest parts of this movement. So this progression trains for that, which is why as soon as you go up and come back down, I want you to stop and just hold that position for time. And the main 3 challenges of this exercise is really just being able to come back down, hold it, and also being able to come up into a handstand. So we'll be able to train those aspects individually, and in this case, we're really gonna be training the 90-degree hold and being able to press up. So let's go for a couple reps and a couple sets, and when we feel like we cannot go on with this progression anymore while maintaining perfect form, we're then gonna go on to the next progression. Let's go ahead and max these out. All right, my body's feeling a little fatigued now. So the next progression we'll be moving on to is the negative 90-degree plus hold. We're gonna kick up into a handstand, and then we're gonna try to go down slow and lower our bodies into the 90-degree and hold. All right, so there's the negative 90 degree plus hold. And for this progression, we're specifically isolating the part of the 90 degree where you have to come down from a handstand and catch yourself in the 90 degree hold position. Now, the more slow and controlled you do this progression, the stronger you're gonna get and the easier it's gonna be to push back up in the other harder progressions. So let's go ahead, max these out with perfect form. When we feel like we can't hold that 90 degree anymore and we're just dropping, we're gonna move on to the next easier progression. Let's go for it. All right, so you guys should probably be feeling that by now. So at this point, you might not have any more pushing strength, but we could definitely still hold. And that's what we're gonna do for the next progression. We're gonna hold the 90 degree. You're gonna give your best and longest 90 degree hold 5 times. And if you like, you can take 30 to 60 seconds between each attempt. Let's go for it. We're gonna start in a push-up position. We're gonna lower into that push-up position. Just lean forward, squeeze tight. Squeeze your core, squeeze your hands, and make sure your hands are by your waistline. If your hands are too far forward, when you come down, you won't be able to lift your legs off the ground. You have to have your hands at your waistline at the center of gravity. Lean forward, tighten. All right, we're moving on to the very first progression and also the last exercise for me, which is push-ups plus 90 degree. And this is gonna be the best exercise if you're completely fatigued because it requires the least amount of effort, but it still engages and targets the same muscle groups and connections that we've been working on. So normally if you couldn't do any more reps, you would just stop, but we're gonna keep on going. And that's how we're gonna build hypertrophy. And with this exercise, we can do a lot more reps to maximize our results and get the most of our training. And this also happens to be the very first progression to start learning how to 90 degree handstand push-up. And it's low impact enough that you can get started and start training for it right now if you can do at least 15 push-ups in a row. So if you're just getting started, definitely start incorporating this exercise because it takes a really long time to build the strength and work your way up the progressions to eventually build the strength to do 90 degree push-ups. But the faster you get started with the right exercises, you'll get there in no time. So let's go ahead and do these push-up to 90 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and do a push-up, lean forward, catch that 90 degree hold, and come right back. Let's do these for reps. There we have the push-up for 90 degree hold. And what I'm doing is I'm lowering down from a push-up while pointing my chin forward. That's gonna help my body stay in a straight line and keep that full body muscle connection. When I've reached the bottom, I'm gonna lean slightly forward to make sure that my hands are by my waistline. Once I've reached that point, I'm gonna squeeze my hands as hard as I can, squeeze my core as hard as I can. Lean slightly more forward and give it a second push with everything you got, and you're gonna feel your feet raise right off the ground. And for the first time, you're now holding your entire body weight while pushing, even for a second. Control this movement as much as possible and come back to starting position. The more you do this, that 1 second is gonna turn into 2, 3, 4, 5, and eventually you'll be able to hold a 90 degree position for at least 30 seconds, and that happens to be the next progression. And this is how you train your 90 degree push-up and all other techniques out there like the handstand push-up, full planche, and so forth. You start training with the easiest progression, and once you're able to master that, you would have developed your strength to start learning the next progression. And when you try the next progression, it will be a bit challenging, but eventually you'll get the hang of that one too. By that time, you're training with the hardest progression, fatiguing your strength until you only have enough energy to do the easier progression, and then completely bring your body to fatigue again. With each time you train, you're gonna be able to work your way up and achieve harder and harder progressions. So start with the hardest progression that you can perform with perfect form, completely fatigue yourself out, and start working down those progressions. There you have it. That's how I train and how I continue to progress and get stronger. If you always go into your workouts doing the same amount of weight, the same exercises with the same amount of reps, you're gonna stay the same and see the same exact results. You need to push yourself and you need to stay in a state of progression to make sure that you stay making gains and you're consistently progressing. So for more workouts, getting you in the best shape of your life, just like this, taking your training to the next level, then sign up to heriapro.com, become a member to get full access to my personal workouts and workout programs that I post on a daily and weekly basis. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you think the best pushing exercise is, and let me know what you guys want to see next. And definitely smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I post every Thursday, 2 p.m. USA Eastern Time. And if you comment within the first 30 minutes of any upload, you always have a chance to win some Heria apparel. And if you want some more content during the week, then definitely make sure you're following me on Instagram. Almost every single post, I'm always doing a giveaway. So if you want a chance to be a part of that, make sure you're following me on IG. That's Chris Heria. If you guys are enjoying the music, then definitely follow me on SoundCloud. As soon as I reach 10K subs, I'll be releasing all this music, as well as some unreleased music you guys haven't heard yet. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next Thursday, 2 p.m. USA Eastern Time. Mad love. Peace out.
Heria music.
Smash that like button, guys.